Hi, guys. So earlier today, I was saying that I really love this backdrop and I was tempted to hang on to it just a little bit longer. And Annie S. said, "Ooh, why don't you do one about deciphering the hieroglyphs?" And I was like, "Oh, I like that idea." So this is a collective bonus message. It is for right now. I have only a little gap of time to do it. My interpretation, obviously, I cannot read hieroglyphs, but hieroglyphs are anything that tell a story, but it's something that has to be deciphered, right? And so that's why I'm going to ask the question, what is the message trying to be conveyed right now to a character from the guides or from the energies that surround them right now? We're going to take a look and see. Okay, we have lightning. We're going to get a couple of cards out first before I even figure out what is if these are the symbols and these are the messages that are popping up right now, then what does that all mean? We have justice. We have Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. We're going to get a couple more out of this deck, and primarily because what I'm going with right now are decks. This is a brand new deck to me. I've had it for a while, but I've never used it, mostly because I need to go through and with a marking pen and give everybody little speedos because there's some naked folk in this. We have a King of Cups in the reverse. We have the Hermit upright. Hang on. Let's stick with this deck right now. Even if I have to cover some things up, that's all right. But it's nice to work with a deck. I've never actually even shuffled through this one before, other than to like mix up the cards a bit. But we've got the 10 of Wands in the reverse, and we have the King of Wands in the reverse. Holy smokes. Okay, and then let me go with that third and final deck that I was going to use. Hi, everyone. Sorry, but we got to get the story first, and then I'll have to work on deciphering what is the message trying to come through. We have a Page of Wands. We have an 8 of Pentacles. Okay, I thought they were two stuck. A Queen of Wands and a 10 of Swords. Okay, so first off, if we have messages that are trying to be conveyed right now, I would look at lightning most often as a spark of like the idea that then ripples outward. I look at this as like the central nervous system. I look at it as the brain. Or the feedback mechanism of, any action that we're going to take. There's a relay system of information from the external world. You touch something hot, your pain receptors pick it up. They send the message. Brain goes, whoa, freak out. This is hot. Send messages back down to those muscles. Remove your hand. You got to move. This is hot. And it's like, it's a whole system that has to happen, but lightning fast. So I'm going to say this could be a relay system where right now, there's either maybe more than one person, there's a stimuli and then there's a central nervous system. We could look at it like that. We could also look at this like somebody is dealing with a thought process in their brain, or their eyes could be taking something in and then their mind is like gathering information. Our thoughts are faster than the speed of light. We can think of things so quickly. Now, I do also want to point out lightning is this huge jolt of energy. So it could be that somebody is having like a surge of even energy, which could be in the form of like an emotion. This could also be literally somebody's eyeballs noticing something, seeing something. But we'll keep all of that in mind right now. There was something else that was in my head a second ago and then gone. Oh, just light being, both a particle and a wave, the duality of photons of light, the fact that they are literally like an item and they are also an energy flow. That could play a role in this as well. So sorry, I know that's a lot to try to interpret, but right now there is a message trying to come in and trying to come in fast. It must have something to do with Wheel of Fortune. By the way, somebody could also be quilting. This looks like a quilt to me. And, to create a quilt, quilts used to be used or created out of little scraps of fabric. In the early days, people didn't have a whole lot of textiles. They were very precious. When something was shredded and destroyed, where it wasn't usable, couldn't be patched anymore, then that fabric in turn would be used for other things, repurposed, turned into quilts, and then later they became like keepsakes, and now today people go out and buy material specifically to create quilts. But and sometimes it's still like in memory of. Sometimes, people take their baby's clothes and put them together in a quilt that they can hold on to and always remember their baby when they were little kids. But quilting takes time. So there is something here about, as this is fast, this is slow. So it's like, hurry up and slow down. We did just have our time shift, right? We've just changed our time. You fall back that hour. So this could have something to do with, I thought everything was going to happen faster today. How come it's not? Maybe somebody's going to have the wrong time. They'll arrive at something an hour too early and be like, oh, that's great. Or arrive somewhere an hour too late for where they need to be. With the Justice card, we got Libra coming in. So something is feeling unfair. This could be somebody who's just crying foul. And this could be a king who's pissy right now. They could be pissed because they're not getting the reaction that they wanted, or they have to wait. They wanted to immediately get gratification, and they're pissed, feeling like this isn't fair. Because we got 2 kings in the reverse. Also with that 10 of Wands in the reverse and that Hermit. All of this keeps speaking of somebody who's like dissatisfied because things were supposed to happen faster, and now they're delayed. Now that's going to foul everything else up. And I think that the urgent message here is, or the thing that's trying to be conveyed right now, I don't know who's supposed to receive the message yet, because this looks like it's playing out for a character. By the way, we could have a masculine who's wearing like a really lovely deep shade of like purple, or they're talking to somebody. I'm picturing somebody who's like very specific, like they're standing there taking tickets like to get on airplanes, and the airplane's going to be delayed. And then we have like a purple like shiny tie on, or a purple like whatever those little cards are, or pocket things on like an outfit, like a uniform that has like a little splash of like purple satin. I'm picturing that, or somebody who's like checking somebody into a hotel. It feels like it's a ticket taker or somebody doing a check-in that has like a splash of purple on. They seem to be the source of irritation for possibly this masculine, because everything is delaying, and it wasn't supposed to be like that. They got here too early or too late. Somebody else is too early or too late. It's delaying plans, and they're kind of pissy over it. But the message seems to be, well, there's nothing you can do other than then be kind of pissed off over it. They have to sit and just think, and maybe they didn't want that either. I don't know if somebody's stuck in a waiting room now because whomever they were supposed to meet with isn't there. Now that's going to foul up their whole day. Somebody is late. Their whole day is thrown off. And we have this really creepy serpents on this card as well. Serpents do represent change, but that 10 of Wands is in the reverse, saying, we don't really have change. We have delays. And this person is instantly realizing it. And it feels like it's a masculine. It feels like he's mad. Feels like he's quite bent out of sorts because he doesn't think it's fair that now his whole plan just got screwed up. Maybe he was going to be trying to talk to a hermit, a Virgo. Maybe there was somebody that he's like, that now everything's a mess. When we shift over here and we go to a Page of Wands, an 8 of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the 10 of Swords, everything looks like it's flowing. So we have 2 distinctly different energies happening simultaneously. Now, like I said at the beginning, it could be that there's this relay, this like one person's world is being delayed, and then how that's impacting somebody else. On one hand, seems not at all, or it seems like her day is going to flow really great. Maybe she was about to hear from him. If only he could have accessed or got to her in time, but his whole day and his plans get delayed. Meanwhile, her day goes off kind of smashingly well. It looks like we may have a divine feminine who's like, there's some stuff I wanted to do today. She may be having a day off. She may be like living her life kind of like a cat. I slept in. I luxuriously stretched. I dressed up my cat. I went out and took some photos. I, worked on a little bit of a hobby or a craft. I hung up some of my photos. I did a little bit of work just for fun. I like having a great day. And now I'm about to leave my house. I got everything packed up. I'm going to go away for the weekend, and I'm driving off, and I'm leaving something behind me, and I don't even know what I missed out on because my whole day's gone real nice. It feels like that's what the message is. Sometimes we don't know what almost came into our life. We don't know that something got waylaid and never came into our world. Hang on, because if this is to try to decipher whatever the messages are, and this is more like in the right now, like when I put out an urgent message, it's usually because I only have a little bit of time. So I'm like, okay, I'm hurried. So that must mean it's a message for like right now. That's the only thing that I mean when I say it's an urgent message. So I don't do these very often. It's when I'm like, I got a weird 20 minutes or 15 minutes window, or one time it was like 12 minutes and I was like, let's do it. And now it's become kind of a fun one that I like to do these once in a while. But She doesn't know that somebody almost showed up in her world, but because they didn't, it almost looks like her day went really, really well. So I have to ask, were you going to throw a wrench in her life? Had you been able to access her? Was this like, I mean, it could have been anything. We have a 3 of Cups in the reverse. You're not somebody she would have wanted to hang out with, is what it looks like. 3 of Cups in the reverse. This could even have been somebody who was going to mess things up financially somehow. 10 of Cups sideways. Okay, so they wanted to see her. She wouldn't have wanted to see them. Who are you to her? This is that king we're talking about again. Hang on, I can't read that. It's the Hierophant. Okay. Sorry, but the way this looks, I almost thought it said the Psychopath. It doesn't. It says Hierophant, but my eyes were just seeing letters weirdly. That's why I was like, I can't read this. Okay, so it's in the reverse. Whomever they are, they certainly could be a Taurus, but more than likely there's somebody who's not listening to their higher self. They're doing what they would like to, whether or not they're considering their approach, whether or not they were considering whether or not she'd want to hear from them. This looks like somebody who is not listening at all to their higher self, and maybe that's why the universe has blocked them. I feel like we should go one more time here. So who is supposed to get a message? Is it them? Is it her? We have got smoky mirror. What do we do with a mirror? We look back at ourselves. What do we need to see? If it's like a smoky mirror, I know this is in the reverse, but it's like see one's own shadow side. So I'm going to say it's him. This message, this urgent message is more for him. Quit being pissy that you can't go and talk to her. You need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you calm enough, zen enough? Have you really considered what it would be like if you showed up in her life? What were you about to bring into her world? Why might she or might she not want to hear from you? Do you really have a right to go access her and break her peace? This says you got to look at your own self here and figure out your motives. So the universe is, this message is like the universe says, I did her a solid. I just blocked this person from coming forward. They need to do a little self-check, so they're going to have to sit with themselves for a minute. Some things are going to go wrong, so they can't access her. Their travel plans, I keep feeling like it was more travel plans or something, are delayed. And although they're pissed over it and they have to sit there in the hermit's energy, that's good. That's where they start to do some self-reflection maybe. Will they get this message? Because this urgent message is more for them, like, whoa, check yourself. Completion. And we have the Serpent. Yes, they will. So thank God this blockage is occurring. This blockage is so important because they have to think things in a complete cycle. Hang on. What is different? So serpents, represent truth. They also represent, shedding an old skin. Snakes not only shed their skin, but they also shed even their, like, the skin around their eyes. And so it's kind of like they can see things from a different lens afterwards. And I wonder if they had to have a complete thought process of, but I wanted to go to her. Now I can't go to her. Okay, I'm sitting here. I'm delayed. Now I got to think about stuff. If I'm pissed that I can't see her when I wanted to, why did I want to see her? Who is she to me? What does she mean to me? Like, maybe they needed to have a full thought process about, why do I want to go to her? If you look in the middle, we have this heart that's almost not noticeable. I didn't draw that on. That's in there. They needed to get more heart-centered before you go and approach her. All of this had been me, instead of what can I offer her? What would I want to give to her? No wonder the universe is like, you're not going anywhere. Sit your butt down. Why do you want to go talk to her? What do you have that would make her happy to see you? Have you thought about what you want to offer? You don't just go to take. You need to think about, you don't just get to say, well, she makes me happy. I want more of that. I think this person would have just botched their chance at, if this is about them wanting to reconcile with her, they were not coming in with a reconciliatory energy. They were still coming in like, this is mine. I'm doing this because I want to approach. This is what I need, instead of like, wait a minute. Yeah, I might have a need for her, but I also care about her. I need to offer her words. I need to explain how I feel about her. I think the universe just saved this person from doing something that would have been a really big mess. Now, I do need to go back over to her though, also, because the message for her is like, live your best day, fill your life with the things you love, enjoy all the things that are filling your life, enjoy all the things that you accomplish. She has a very rich life, right? And as a Queen of Wands, I feel like she's making big strides, particularly today. But what's the Ten of Swords about? Because I mean, obviously we caught that, and we need to take a look at what that means. Um, the Tower. There is something about her forgetting to remember maybe them. Maybe she's been bothered by the situation with them for a long time, and this is her like surrendering it today. Did you think you were going to hear from him? I only say him because we saw him as a king. 10 of Cups. She either had or would have had kind of a bumpy day today. This is almost like the storyline that didn't play out today. And yet the urgent message is thank God for things that didn't take place, because it altered her path today and made her more present and made her have like a really freaking fantastic day. It made her forget to remember, like, oh, I think a lot about them and the life we could have together and the happiness that we could have. But if they had come into her, they wouldn't have said something that would have made her happy. Or if she'd been lamenting, like, I'd love to have, a 10 of cups. How come I don't have my 10 of cups? She forgot about that today and actually lived a 10 of cups. Felt an amazing day today. Had fun. Is able to live a queen's life and feel like I'm doing the stuff I want to do with my life. How awesome is this? I feel like I pick and choose the things that I want in my life. And today I forgot to be a little sad, or today I forgot that, something came in and knocked down the love story I thought I was going to have, like a freaking wrecking ball. Today I forgot to think about that because I was having such a good day. I think this is really important for her as well. I think this is a really important message. Page of Swords and the Chariot. Honestly, this was a very good day for these two not to be able to connect. She was supposed to have a day free of thoughts of them, start thinking about other things. This is a day she might have started to make new plans in some ideas that she wants to bring to fruition in her life. We saw her, bags all packed, ready to leave something behind and ready to go out on this new adventure. It's an adventurer's day for her, but I think it's more symbolic. It sets a tone for how she's driving her life forward. Maybe she researches some stuff. Maybe she pictures, like, I forgot to remember that I was sad over them today because my life was progressing forward instead. And I was thinking about all the other things I want to do, where I want to go. Maybe I got interested in the idea of traveling somewhere. I have some new hobbies I want to pursue. I have other things in my life that are taking up my time now. That's really good for her to not be. This is the day she stops waiting on them. That great song called Chances by The Strokes. I waited on you, I waited for you, but now I don't. Oh, he sings it so good. I love Julian Casablancas. His voice is so amazing. But that song in particular is like so perfect, I think, for her. I'll take my chances alone. I will not wait up for you anymore. And I think this is such a turning point for her today, which is also terrific because bear in mind, they need to come in and try to offer her something before they approach her. They can't come in and think that they have a right to take. She's in a place where she's like, I don't feel like giving. I'm over here living my best life. Somebody would have to offer me a hell of a lot for me to get me off my new path that I just came up with. This is a day where it's almost like, I'm not saying it was ever runner chaser, but definitely, if anything, the runner chaser dynamics have flipped because she's now the person who they're going to have to try to convince, please give me another chance. Whereas if they had showed up today, she might have been too willing to say, oh, you're here for whatever you want. I guess I have to give. And now, I hope that I can hang on to you. Now it's going to be the reverse. They're going to have to hope that they can hang on to her. This needed to change. The dynamics had to shift today is what the big message is. Final message. And then I have to go. I'll be back later tonight, though, and we'll get to our members' corners. We have the spiral. I only read this deck in the upright no matter what. You notice that we have the heart again way down here. And that looks kind of like, the nautilus shell. The nautilus shell has kind of a relevance to the Fibonacci sequence, which is that mathematical, kind of repetitious pattern that we see that can also be applied to the patterns that we see in nature and the logarithms of nature, and the fact that it proves nature has an intelligent design. Nothing is really that random in nature. There is even some of the buildings that you see, like in ancient Greece, for example, the ratios of the height of pillars and columns are oftentimes built in accordance with a natural ratio that we see in nature. And sometimes when you see other buildings not built according to that ratio, I don't know if y'all are like me, but I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I am extremely sensitive, and I never knew this about myself, but I'm extremely sensitive to things that do not fit. And I never knew what that was about. And then as I learned about some of this, I was like, oh, that's why some architecture is just disgusting to me. It really bothers me. It throws me, and I feel all off. And then other buildings I'm so soothed by, and I'm so drawn to, and I'm like, I did not know that that's probably what the correlation is there. So there is something here about the pattern of life and the balance. And if anything, I would say that's what this whole message has been. There is a balance. There is a reason. And even if you look at the logarithms in nature, there's, mathematicians, sociologists have been able to have predictable patterns even for population density, like growth spurts and times when we also, have a lag. That too follows a rhythm, follows a pattern that is, again, that's what the logarithm means, is the pattern of nature. It's the flow, and there's crests and troughs to it. And it's just very interesting, because I think that's what this story is. This whole thing says nature is taking its course the way it's supposed to. There needed to be another, in this case, another full cycle before these two were going to be able to possibly have some kind of a connection that would be successful. There's no point in trying to birth something that's not ready to be birthed yet. This renewal of this relationship couldn't have happened the way it is. So there had to be a delay. It's very much synonymous with personal growth and the nature of who we are, and maybe also the nature of what will make a love story successful. It's you have to go through the entire spiral. You have to complete your thoughts. You have to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it if you're really going to be able to love somebody fully. You have to be able to love your own life and let go of the need for somebody else to come in and make you happy before you'll really be able to have a super happy relationship with someone. That feels like what it was for her. But on their side, they also had to be less selfish and be able to love another person. So they both kind of had honestly, I didn't expect this to be so deep. I thought it was going to be ooh, there's pictures in the clouds, and the clouds are trying to tell a message from the ancestors about something simple. I did not know we were going to go down this road. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. 11-8, hi, sweetheart. Really great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my God. Air bubble. I did not hear that news story yet. There was a collapse in a 13th century tower close to the Colosseum. That happened today? I did not see that. Oh my God. I've of course, been to Rome, and so that is very close to my heart right now. But I had no idea. And did you say somebody is trapped? God, I hope not. I'll have to go and read up on that. I certainly hope the best. Oh God, air bubble. There is a worker trapped. Okay, well, I'm sending so much good thoughts and support for that individual. You guys, thank you. It is so nice to see all of you. Empress Unicorn, thank you, Angel. 11-8, thank you so much. You're so sweet, babe. And AC, thank you, honey. Welcome, Nani. AC just gifted you a membership, Nani. You're now a member, so that means, of course, you can tap into the members playlist. You'll notice that each Monday I post a new members only video. By the way, I'll be live in our members corner on both channels later on this evening, so I will see you guys there. Lots of love, you guys. You are so wonderful. Leila, thank you, honey. Dragon Night and Day, Ginger Montague, NES. Thanks for the great suggestion, NES. Thank you, everybody. EM, hi, sweetie pie. So good to see you. Esoteric M, hi, honey. Queen of the Universe, wonderful to see you. Hey, R. India Logan, Empress DC, Queen of the Universe. SMB042, hi. So nice to see everybody. Christy Peruso, Yel Rubin, Buonasera. Hi, G. Thank you again, AC. So generous. Miss Moody. Small person. I love your name. Linda LL77. Wonderful to see you. Shout out to you in Oregon, dear. Thanks so much again, Esoteric M. As you say, Scorpio season's been forcing people to face their shadow. Dragon Night and Day. Absolutely. I fully expect it. You guys are so adorable. I feel like we have such a great collective here where everybody tends to like when I watch a movie or read a book, I get very invested in characters. And so it cracks me up that you guys get invested just like I do in these characters. Cause I'll keep going on a story if I got to figure out who the character is. And it's so cute because some of you guys pitch lemons or poop emojis or now fart emojis if you're not enjoying the way a character is behaving. And it is hysterically funny because I totally understand. It's like, it's harmless, good fun where you guys are putting in your 2 cents of like, boo, I don't like the behavior. And it just cracks me up because I know I feel the same, when I'm like, what are they doing? Character, stop. You've got to turn around and do something else. And I just think it's adorable that you guys feel the same way. Bradley Bear, so great to see you. Okay, I got to run, you guys. What am I doing? Nellie, Caitlin, Holly Light, Jacob. Thank you again, everybody. Nina V. Hi, Nina. Violet. Thank you again. Jeannie Vale, Patricia, Rachel Flory. So awesome to see you guys. All right. I'll see you guys later on tonight. Bye for now. Aries, you ready?